Peace, peace, family. Peace, Vie Darling, the cosmic queen, and your intergalactic interpreter. Welcome to the Aetherium, the spiritual sanctuary where I am pioneering the spiritual practice of cosmic wellness, which is founded upon the foundation of spiritual abolition, a practice of shadow work that really finds itself in decolonial ideation and praxis, not just practice. I was doing lives on TikTok, and I just find that it's been super glitchy lately, so instead of continuing to waste my time on something that doesn't want to work, I figured to just do it on here. I like to be able to record these things. So welcome, and we're going to get into the energy for the next 72 hours. What I was hearing in the ethers was what's good for the goose is good for the gander. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I don't know if y'all know what that means, but we're gonna also look at the chart. Because there's a lot that's going on today. Now, I want to remind folks that this is a timeless reading. It doesn't matter when you're seeing it, because it is always, always, always timeless. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. And what I'm picking up is that this is a message for all of my sensitive star seed souls, is what I'm hearing. My sensitive star seed souls. I don't feel like this is the deck that I want to use either. If you're a chosen one, that's what this is about. Right now, we are just coming out of the energy of the full moon in Scorpio. It is April, and this energy that is up, regardless of when you see this, because this is a timeless reading, as I said, the messages, what is meant to find you in this reading is timeless. It's a forever kind of deal. You feel me? So just really bear that in mind. But if you're watching this when I am posting it, when I am recording it, the idea is that it's time for you to let go of whatever you've been holding on to. If you're someone who's like, I'm fueled by rage, I'm fueled by revenge, I'm fueled by vengeance, it's time to let that shit go, because let me tell you something, that's actually not really cute. And that will require you to be vengeful and angry and full of rage for the rest of your life. And what is the quality of life for somebody who is experiencing life like that? I can tell you it's not going to be very good. So Spirit is really saying, we want you to be happy, and it's time to let go of these maladaptive reasons as to why you must fulfill your life mission. You fulfill your life mission because it's fulfilling to you. You fulfill your life mission because it feels natural and it feels good and it feels right. Whatever you're doing because of, vanity purposes, pride, ego, all of this, fear, you know what I mean? To prove a point to someone else. That's very maladaptive, that's very sick, and it's not going to get you very far. All right. And this is potentially for some of you, I'm hearing this is why you're not going past the point that you've gotten to, and you're not going to go past the point that you've gotten to. So it's very important to understand that. Okay. Just want to make a note of something. Today, what we have going on in the cosmos is that the moon is entering Sagittarius on today, February 26th. I do want to say, okay, we get rhodonite. Go with your heart. I'm saying. Before I continue with the cards, I do want to say that yesterday we had Uranus move. Was this yesterday or was it 2 days ago? Yes. 2 days ago on the 24th of April, we had Uranus move to 22 degrees of Taurus. Okay. Jupiter had already moved to 22 degrees of Taurus. So they are once again conjunct in the sign of Taurus. This is a really big deal. These kinds of conjunctions between Jupiter and Uranus only happen every 14 years. So this is mind-blowing stuff. This is major stuff. And you know that we are in the age of Aquarius now. Aquarius is a sign that is ruled by both Uranus and Saturn. We had Saturn move on that same day, the 24th of April, to 16 degrees of Pisces. The Sabian symbol for 16 degrees of Pisces is in the quiet of their study, a creative individual, creator, God, a creative individual, somebody who is a God body, okay? Somebody who is a chosen one, okay? Somebody who is a vessel for divinity, a deity, if you will, experiences a flow of inspiration. You may be in a space where you're starting to feel, you may have felt like you didn't have energy before, and now your energy is coming back to you, your inspiration, where you felt like you were stuck, you were blocked up. Maybe you were in a hanged man sort of energy. You are now coming out of that and you are now moving forward because that hanged man energy allowed for you to channel divine insights that you needed to channel in order for you to move forward, to progress, not just like in a material sense, but in a consciousness sense, in a karmic sense. It was time for you to learn what you needed to learn and be enlightened in a way that shone light on what I'm hearing, shone light. So light was shown onto the parts of you that were holding you back. And that's what we are being asked to let go of in this time, April, with this new moon. With this full moon that we're experiencing, okay? And I am being asked to bring in this pink calcite crystal that I have here. So there is major heart chakra clearing, major heart chakra activations going on here. And the keynote is reliance upon one's inner source of inspiration or guidance. Whatever was blocking you from your connection to the Most High, which is also like your higher self, the Most High consciousness that you can reach, but beyond that, also the Most High divine creator, whatever was blocking you is being removed. Subjective strength, where your inner resource, what are you tapping into? Okay, instead of tapping into trauma, because that's essentially what you're doing when you're operating based off of vengeance or ego or vanity or anything like that. We move by faith, not by sight. You need to be tapping into your higher power. Okay. And this needs to be a higher power that's unconditionally loving and also integral, has unconditional integrity and truth. No matter what situation they are in, they are always showing up the same way. All right, I'm going to drink some water here. You've needed more love. You've needed more true, real love. I'm hearing that song by Mary J. Blige, and for some reason I heard Whitney Houston. I feel like there's a lot of fraudulent energy in this energy, okay? And it's saying that like what you thought was love and what you thought was what you thought was love and care was not actually love and care. When people are like, oh, like, that's all they're capable of giving in terms of love. That's, they love me as much as they're capable of loving me. If someone's not capable of loving, if they can't love themselves, they can't love you, period. You are only capable of loving the amount that you love yourself. Okay, you're infinitely capable of loving, but the love that you give to others is contingent upon the amount of love that you're capable of giving yourself. And this is why we have to put ourselves first and our own needs first. Because the reality is, if you don't love yourself enough to put your own needs first, you cannot really give true love. to anybody else. People who do not love themselves do not love you. They can't. They may care about you. And I'm operating from 1001 on the timer. I'm operating from an understanding from what bell hooks qualified as love. Read All About Love by Bell Hooks. For someone, you need to reread that. You need to reread that. That changed my perspective on everything. That was a paradigm shift for me. And what I came to understand is there cannot be love where there is abuse. You don't abuse something that you love. You don't abuse someone that you love. And I don't care if it's chronic and constant or if it's just once in a while. I seen on Reddit this lady was talking about how her fiance, he's the best, absolute best, but he got super protective and jealous one day over something that was not even really happening. He thought there was a man in the house, but there wasn't, and he put his hands on her. And otherwise, he's so loving and da-da-da-da-da. No, sis, he did that while y'all were engaged, not when you were dating, because he didn't want to risk losing you. He did that when y'all were engaged to see the limit of what he is capable of doing to you, what you're willing to allow. For when y'all get married, he wants to know if he can do those things to you. So what you need to do is you need to leave him immediately. Don't let that happen again. So even if it is one abusive instance, you gotta leave. You can't stay in those kinds of situations. That's not love. So if you have a higher power that you feel is abusive, it's time for you to reconfigure your sense of a higher power. And this has been what has been the blockage between you and your ability to truly manifest, you and your ability to wield your power, your creative power, especially to the highest degree. Okay? I do feel like this is really feeling like there's a lot that has to be purged out of the feminine channels, because I feel this disturbance and this discrepancy on the left side. What's been coming up a lot lately is like this energy of like Lilith betrayal. And if you don't know some more apocryphal texts, when we talk about Eve, there are lots of other stories about Eve, actually. There's one called The First Grape, and it is when, Eve first comes to Earth, and the beings on Earth, which are evil, the archonic beings and their creations, see her and they want to attack her in a sexual manner. I don't know what the censorship stuff on YouTube is, so I will just use the kind that we use on TikTok, sexual manner. And what ends up happening is, the higher divine forces take that Eve and replace her with a replicant, and that version of her is attacked versus the actual version of her. That's one story about Eve. Then there's also the story of her being tricked into having Cain, who has a different father than Abel, whose father is and also Seth. There's that story as well, but specifically, there's a story that I really wanted to tap into, but I think that it is The First Grape. And so people are very familiar with the story of Lilith, which is apocryphal to Christianity because it's not part of the Christian lore, it's part of the Judaic lore. But essentially, this idea that, like, I feel and I'm going to channel here, when I think about Lilith, she came down as this pure equal to Adam, and because of this violent subjugation that she was not willing to participate in, she rebelled against her creator. But if we are thinking about these beings as beings that were created by 𝗷𝗷𝗱𝗲, Yahweh, if you will, then these are not even the original beings. I do want to point that out. But she rebelled against the creator, fled to the waters, and there birthed the demons. I don't need to get into all of that, but I do want to point out the fact that prior to her rebelling and fleeing and running away and doing what she did, that is a means of escaping because of being betrayed, because of being attacked, because of being traumatized. And that's what you have to do if somebody is going to be abusive towards you. Okay, if she is being made to be subjugated, if she is being made to be oppressed, obviously this being is not meant to be above her. They are meant to be side by side. That is what divine counterparts are. That is what divine partnership is. And the term I'm hearing is kingdom spouse. Okay, that's the term that's coming up for me. Kingdom spouse. That is what divine union is about. Two equals coming into union to create this new third thing, the elixir of life. This is the fountain that we're talking about, that is found in the high heart chakra, that has been being activated and activated and activated. Right now, I have my pink calcite in one hand and I have my pyrite in the other hand. The alchemical chamber is you. Your feminine energy and your masculine energy have to come together in perfect union. And what has been happening in this hanged man period is you have been being purified. Purification is related to Neptune. Purification is related to Pisces. So are nuptial. So is marriage. So Pisces, Neptune, very alchemical. Of course it is, because it's also ruled by Jupiter. Those final 4 signs are the alchemical karmic signs. Okay. They are also the most mature. This is crone energy. So you've been in your crone state. This is divine, ancient, esoteric wisdom coming into play. It's not stuff that you read. It's stuff that's inside of your body. You don't learn it from another source. It's already coded into you, and it's being activated by media external to you, seemingly external, because it really isn't external. We are in life. We are in the world, and part of it. We are in, not the world, excuse me, because that is a man-made creation, but the universe. And whatever we experience in the world is a reflection of the universe, back what's happening internally to us. So it's been there to activate us. And I am seeing this, like, this force that was created, this shadow, this fear that was created because of the betrayal. Okay? Because of the betrayal. And this is why we have to forgive. You can forgive and never allow something to have the power to hurt you again, because you're not going to engage with it. This is for my chosen ones. This is for those of you who came and incarnated into a bloodline to do this work, to purify the bloodline, to purify humanity, to purify the collective in your bloodline, in your nation. And this is why Yeshua said when he was being tempted, he said he didn't care if, the nation that he was born into in the social world was at war. He didn't need to free them because that wasn't his nation. His nation was a spiritual nation. God's kingdom. That was the kingdom that he was talking about. And that's why you need to know, don't worry about your family, because isn't it that a prophet has to leave their family? They have to leave their hometown in order to be appreciated, in order to minister, in order to do the work that they have to do. Isn't it true that they have to do that? Don't worry about your little one family. We're preaching to a nation. Okay? Your soul tribe may not look like you. They may not sound like you. They may not come from the same background as you. But they know you on a soul level because y'all came here on a mission together from a spiritual place. Okay, this is why it's important to understand, yeah, you might have soulmates in your personal family, but ultimately it's not about your personal family, because most of those people are karmic. Most of those people are karmic. And so you're fighting your demons and you're fighting their demons, and you have to triumph for your own sake as well. But you need to know when to say when. Some things are none of your business. It has nothing to do with you. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. They may not understand that you going no contact, you moving away, you developing your own culture, your own agency and autonomy, because most of us come from enmeshed family dynamics. I said this in a reading, it got deleted. All of the like mini readings that I did got deleted, but I said this in a reading earlier this week, is like starting to realize that like some of you grew up in a cult, like in an actual cult. When you look at the structure of your family dynamics and your lineage dynamic, and you look at what qualifies a group to be a cult, you look at your family and it's like, oh, I grew up in a cult. And that's the kind of stuff that's being revealed right now with Pluto and Aquarius. Cult manipulation. And if you're not self-sovereign, this is the thing, is you develop self-sovereignty in order to liberate the bloodline, in order to liberate the generations to come, because some of the children that are being born into that family right this instant, right now, are only able to be born because you came into that family and you were born of a higher vibrational frequency than the people who came before you. And the work that you've done to continue taking off the layers and taking off the density and getting back into that original state before you incarnated is what has opened up a gateway. You are the king. I mean, you are here we go. You are the king. Okay. In tarot, the king is the highest of the suit. I don't care what gender you identify as, because that's not real. What's real is what's in the spirit. Okay, so don't worry about that. Take it as it applies. We're talking about rank. Okay, that's what we're talking about. And we're talking about polarities and dynamics. We're talking about expressional energy. We're talking about electromagnetic energy when we talk about feminine and masculine. But right now, what we're talking about is rank. And the highest ranking of any suit in tarot is the king. So take it as it applies. Don't be like, oh, I can't be an emperor energy because I am a girl. I don't care. You can still be an emperor energy. Okay, my grandmother was a cis-het woman, and she was very, very powerful. So in my country, I think my mom said they used to call her like man woman, because she was so powerful and she was such a dominant force to be reckoned with. She had dragon power upon her. And that is power that it's not, oh, just anybody can have that. You have to be of a certain rank. And frankly, a certain bloodline. Even if your bloodline has fallen and fallen and fallen, you came into it to raise it back up in terms of dimension and remove the karma that has made it dense. Okay? So it doesn't matter what they do or don't like. You got to look at it this way. When I look at my, specifically when I look at my mom, I had to realize one day, I had a realization, she is not, she is younger than me spiritually and consciousness wise. She's maybe 2 lifetimes old. And I am much more ancient than she is. You know what I mean? So when I recognize this about her, I could be like, I'm much more advanced than she is. And that doesn't mean I let her off the hook for the things that she does. But I can have more grace and forgive her. Do I allow her to cause the same kind of harm that she caused? No, I don't. But I can forgive, because I don't need to carry that around. That is not quality material to manifest with. Okay, I know that we're kind of going, all around, but you can see that we're always coming back to this same message about like manifestation, and where we are manifesting from, and where we are building from, and where we're living our lives from. Okay, so you have to understand, it doesn't matter like I said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. It doesn't matter if those lower vibrational life forms, if those of a lower frequency than you are like, I don't like that you're going and doing what's good for you. Because it's what 2424. Because it's what's good for the bloodline. And another 24 on the screen, actually. So let's actually look up angel number 2424, but also 2424 equals 66, which equals 12. This is a cycle of, we're coming to the completion point. Like I said, Pisces, and it also equals 3, which is a very alchemical spiritual number. 3 is the divine, the sacred child. This is you're coming into union with your divine counterpart because you are fully integrated within yourself. I know people call this a sigma. You might identify as a sigma male or a sigma female or whatever. But you might identify, instead of as an alpha or a beta or omega or whatever, you might identify as a sigma. But some of you are omegas. And if you're an omega, you are probably a black sheep. Okay? That's 𝗪𝗏 energy. You are the force of divine destruction. Shiva lingam is what I'm hearing. You have integrated your electrical impulses and your magnetic force impulses and forces, and now you are electromagnetic. And you know, in any situation that you get into, you are able to create homeostasis because you have come into balance for whatever that is to you. I've talked about this on my TikTok page. I'll try to remember to link that TikTok. But basically, I've talked about it and said, like, you have to be, you have to know, each of us has our own essential balance of masculine and feminine dualistic energy. Some of us, you know, I'm a high femme. And I come into a situation, but I'm also a dominant force. And in some situations, I might be more masculine. I might need to be more in my masculine. I might need to be more expressional. I might need to be more domineering and telling people and doing what I got to do. Versus other times, I might get into a situation and it's time for me to sit there and just be like magnetic, which is more in my feminine energy. And this is why you had to be in this hanged man experience, in this hanged man moment, because you were out of balance and you were out of whack. And you cannot effectively magnetize if your essential frequency is out of balance, if it's obfuscated, if it's covered with shadow. That is why we had to go through this enlightenment phase. And that enlightenment was scary as all hell. I know a lot of you had people throwing magic at you. They didn't want you to remember that you were a child of God. They didn't want you to remember that you were a sacred divine being. I'm seeing some of you are Lemurian. You were avatars, giant blue beings, giant beings that were worshipped as gods. That's what you are. I'm also hearing netter. I don't know a lot about the netters. I say this every time I bring them up. I don't really understand what that like is, but that's what I'm hearing. So angel number 2424 is assigned to make positive changes in your life to reach success and prosperity, like starting a new hobby or changing careers. Like I said, this is a time where you need to be getting rid of, because Scorpio has to do with expulsion. You know what it is that you need to get rid of, and it's time for you to dump the dead weight. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Even if they don't understand why you're doing what you got to do, it doesn't matter. It's not about them. They got to worry about their damn self. Worry about your salvation and stop looking to other people to save you. Worry about what you got going on and stop thinking about what other people got going on. No matter what anybody does in this life, I'm at a place where I understand that's what they got to do. And it is what it is, because I got to do what I got to do. I'm on my own journey. Okay? I'm following my journey, my divine guidance. That's my compass. I'm in my integrity, following my North Node. I'm not sitting here getting stuck in my South Node. Okay, dragons coming up again. Because this is dragon activation that's going on right now. Okay, 2, we get divine counterparts. You got to learn to let go with grace and gratitude. Not everything is meant to last forever. This is a problem, especially in the Western world. And a big part of this started back in Egypt because every empire wanted to be eternal. You're not a wise being if you are obsessed with lasting forever and living forever. That's why we got vampires. 29:39 on the clock. This is why we got vampires, and we know vampires, it's a curse to live forever. They want in the first season of True Blood, Godric, one of the oldest vampires ever, he wanted to unalive himself because he was tired of existing. And he was watching as the vampires were devolving, as opposed to continuing to evolve with their eternal life. It was confirmation burp wasted on them. 30:20 on the clock. So we're getting lots of 2s and 3s and 3s and 2s. 23:32. We're going to look up that angel number 2. And he met the eternal, he met the sun, and he died the true death because he didn't want to live forever anymore. What a burden. But it is a fool who thinks that that is a blessing, that it is a fool who thinks that that is the way and that is the thing to do. It's not. Flux is the nature of existence, the divine feminine principle. They call it chaos because they demonize it in this Western, I'm not going to call it a civilization, this Western empire that has been going on since ancient Rome. And the, what I'm going to say is the defenestration. That means to be thrown out of a window. The defenestration of the priesthood in Kemet, and the corruption that happened there, and the betrayal that happened there, where they began to work then with the Romans, and this is what they carried out into the world. And this is still the empire that we're collapsing right now. Your power, your coming to Earth, is what has collapsed this. Some of you. I see another 32 on the screen. So that's 5 and 5, that's 10. That's also a cycle of completion. With faith, reflection, and courage, you can take positive steps toward the love life you want. I'm not interested in hearing about love life. So angels and higher powers are with you, guiding you, assisting you. That's always what they mean, but no one knows you better than you know yourself, and no one has a clearer connection to your spirit guides and angels than you do. Stay strong in your convictions, listen to your intuition and inner wisdom, and maintain a positive attitude and high expectations in regards to the direction of your life. Have faith and trust that your present course is the right one for you, as it is in line with your soul purpose. So I said, some of y'all have been having a lack of faith. It also comes down to one, this is a new beginning. Develop your intuition and use it as a natural tuning fork and employ it in your everyday life to guide and assist you. Your connection with your intuition is ever present and is always part of you. When you access and follow your intuition, you gain control of your own life, and this leads you to making the right choices and taking positive action in every instant. If you're not having the manifestations, if you're not able to manifest in the 3D, it's because you haven't mastered alchemy within yourself. The first prima materia that you must master is your own essence. And then you're able to manifest in the material. But until you're able to do that, you're not able to do that. So as I said, this lack of balance between your feminine energy and your masculine energy, whatever that is for you, you got to figure that out. I can actually tell you about that if you book a reading with me, if you book a oracle healing session with me, we can figure that out and we can work through that together. But a lot of it has to do with, like, I'm seeing blockages. What I'm seeing, it's like a spider web, but it's like a cell, and a cell that is inflamed, and a cell that is like blackened, okay? And that is a blockage, and it is in your feminine channel, okay? And this is the healing that you have to do. This is the healing that you've been doing. It is because of the demonization of the feminine within the Western world. You know, Shiva comes from Kali. Shiva is a servant of Kali. Shiva does what Kali needs done for Kali's fulfillment, Kali Ma. And then we have the Tridevi, the male triumvirate. And then we have the Trimurti, which are their wives, their divine counterparts. Together they bring balance. It's not one or the other. Okay, the true one is both. There's something that needs to be said. There's something that needs to be said. You're not saying it though. And it's because of something that you consume, that you're not saying what needs to be said. Your heart chakra is blocked up. How are you going to, the heart is magnetic and electric as well. It has its own electromagnetic field. And because of the blockages in your feminine channel, this is affecting your masculine channel. You need clarification. Look at this. You see the way that this heart looks, or we want it to look like the pink calcite, but instead it looks like this. What is rhodonite? With a palette of deep pink and black, rhodonite gets its name from the Greek word for rosy. The key term here is go with your heart. Potential waster. Who needs it? Potential wasters. Those deeply sighing, I hate my job type. Sagittarians. You're dissatisfied. It's a level of dissatisfaction that you refuse to admit to yourself. You refuse to admit to yourself the level of dissatisfaction that you're experiencing. I'm hearing candy-coated raindrops. My love. Tell me, do you dream of candy-coated raindrops? You're the same, my candy rain. Listen, the universe wants to give you what you deserve, but you are enmeshed in this relationship. Whether it's, I'm really picking up family, I'm really picking up culture, I'm really picking up national identity. And it is also friend groups. I'm not going to hold you. It's also friend groups as well. It's because people are codependent on you. They're attaching themselves to you for salvation. They don't feel that they're capable of saving themselves because they're not willing to do what they got to do. But listen, like I said, it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Angel number 2332. You got to do what's good for you on your mission. Okay. Scorpio also has to do with surgery. Obsidian. Obsidian tools were some of the first tools that were used in, I believe, the Aztec Empire. It may have been the Mayan Empire. I believe it was the Mayan Empire. They would use obsidian tools, like obsidian scalpels, to do surgery. And they'd also use them for divination, because we're talking about spirituality and magic being in every aspect, every institution. So yes, we have priest kings, but we also have shamans, healers. I'm talking about doing spiritual surgery. Some of you need some spiritual surgery worked on you. Some of you, that's what you need. We're at 38 minutes here. Oh, yes. Sorry, I did not see the messages in the chat. I wonder if I can pause this. I've never used this before, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this and I'm going to run to the restroom. I apologize, folks, for that. I'm marking it so I can like skip over that. But yeah, I'm so sorry I didn't see the messages in the chat. I'm looking at my references and also channeling, so I'm in the flow. And it's also hard for me to like look at myself and look at the and channel. I get really distracted. Well, while I was in the bathroom, I noticed something. I saw a bunch of fives. I saw 4 5s, and that has to do with creativity, creative power. It has to do with childhood. It has to do with children. And what I channeled was that, like, you know, these people, they're attaching themselves to you because they want to drain you of your feminine power. Confirmation burp. They want to drain you of your feminine power. They want to drain you of your creative force, because your feminine power is your creative force. Okay, they want to drain you of that because they are vampires. And some of them, they are earth angels, or they are supernatural beings who have an archonic device implanted in them. That is the trauma. And it creates a black hole that drains life force. And so they have to attach to something else to drain life force, because they become vampires by proxy. Okay? They are a vessel. And any kind of entity can get up inside of them. Yes, angels and ancestors are fighting on their behalf, but they got to do what they got to do. So this is why I said what's good for the goose is good for the gander. It's better for the collective for you to leave a group that is sick and that is trying to destroy you, whether they know it or not, because you have a purpose that you need to fulfill. You have a job. You are here to be of service to others. So actually, you need to stop fucking around with these lower vibrational forces. It is your job and it is your duty to move on. If they cannot follow, it's their job and their duty to figure out whatever's blocking up their frequency and to get aligned. The real tea is, it's always about being in integrity. Okay, it's about being in integrity. When you are walking in integrity, when you are living in the truth, when you are facing life on life's terms in reality, and also still channeling unconditional love as often as possible, let me tell you what happens. There's no way for you to be low vibrational. There's no way. These demons, these forces, these entities try to do whatever they try to do, and it can't stick to you. What you're experiencing is you're seeing these attacks. Like, okay, the attack is happening, but it's not sticking. It's not sticking because it can't. They can't get you. And this is why it's imperative to do the work. If you're afraid of being attacked and stuff like that, well, I really suggest you to get into your integrity and start channeling unconditional love. Learn to forgive. Deal with your problems. Heal. If you need help with that, book a reading with me. 4334 on the clock. You know where to find me. You know where it's at. But the thing about it is, a lot of people, they don't want to. So that's 7 and 7. And we had 6 and 6 before. That's 14. That's 5 again. Creative force. Sacred child. For some of you, it's pride. It's as if like, oh, you need to get divorced, but you don't want to get divorced because you don't want to prove people right who said that you weren't supposed to be with that person. You know what? Maybe at that time you were supposed to be with that person, but you're not supposed to be with them anymore. It could be as simple as that. Like, why does it have to be everything is supposed to last forever? Like I said, that's not the way. Okay. We're in the age of Aquarius. Times are changing. Old contracts are over. This is a time for liberation. This is a time for regeneration. This is a time for new life. Okay? This is a time for rebirth. So what you got to do is you got to let go of what was holding you back in the past and move forward into the future. Those old timelines, those old behaviors, those old ways of being, those old lifestyles, that's over for you now. If you know that you're supposed to be moving into a new lifestyle, right? I accept my new lifestyle down below. I accept my new lifestyle. I honor my ranking. I honor my anointing. Because it's some of you who are supposed to be kings of the new age is what I'm hearing. That's what's coming through right now. But you are you've been used to living an impoverished life as a because you were here, you were in the material realm is what I'm hearing. You're used to living like the life of a commoner is what I'm hearing. But you're being restored to your former glory. You always had that, but the density was upon you. And like, you need to understand that the density isn't real. It's not who you are. So that density, it is in the narrative. Oh, what's my story? I'll tell you what my story is. I've been through this. I've been through that. That is all, those are all narratives. And those are all timelines. And the timelines are in your DNA. And it's your neural pathways. But when you choose to divest from that and you choose to do differently and you choose to stop interacting and engaging with that, you choose to become your most high self. All those lower vibrational timelines and DNA, that's the junk DNA, that carbon DNA falls away. You heal your bloodline. Literally, you heal your bloodline and your DNA. That epigenetic trauma, it does not continue anymore. And that is, you have to change on a biochemical, biophysical level, physiological level, yes. But also, you have to change your behaviors, your environments, your patterns. It is all working in service of the same thing. And that's how you do it. Y'all want to sit around and do like, oh, I'm going to timeline jump. I'm going to quantum physically jump using these like the secret type, law of attraction type. No, what you need to do is you need to heal. What you need to do is you need to get a therapist. What you need to do is some EMDR. That's what you need to do. Y'all don't want to do the shadow work. And that's the problem. That's why y'all don't heal. That's why y'all don't get to the timelines that you're looking for. You cannot be in a timeline that you are not vibrationally resonant with. And if you're too busy being vibrationally resonant with your pain, your trauma, your drama, and the toil and the trials and the tribulations, how are you supposed to be in resonance with your prosperity, your abundance, your anointing? I want to ask you that today. Please make that make sense for me. I'll wait. I'll give you a second. I'll give you a second to make that make sense. You can't, because it won't. This is pure and simple physics. And it's, this is on an atomic level. This is energy. This is how it works. It's not some abstract thing that, new age hippies are talking about. This is science. This is what you learn when you learn physics. I took astronomy at the university level at Hunter College, and we had to learn quantum physics in order to pass. This is not some abstract, esoteric thing. This is literally science. These are the laws of physics, the Newtonian laws. This is science. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but this is confirmation. And how does this apply in terms of shamanism and healing? Because that's what we're doing here, the shamanic healing. When you go on a shamanic journey, it is marked by trauma. And the work is to heal and to transmute. So this is about doing the spiritual surgery. What do you need to let go of? Okay, for some of you, the next 72 hours, you're going to meet somebody who is going to offer you, they are the key to your new life. But you might be tempted to self-sabotage. Okay? You might be tempted to self-sabotage, but I'm feeling like it's like, oh, like I'm not really good enough. And you start acting bashful and like stupid. In my country, we say bobo. Like, you can't talk. You can't big yourself up. It's not bigging yourself up. You're talking about what you really did. I'll tell you something. You know what I mean? I was working on putting together media to promote my services and my businesses. And it can feel uncomfortable, you know what I mean, to talk about yourself in a positive manner when you are, you know, a survivor of abuse and stuff like that. Like, it might make you into a people pleaser, and you might not want to talk about it because people might get jealous and like start hating on you, or start preying on your downfall, preying on your demise. They might start throwing the evil eye at you. Don't you worry about none of that, because if you are actually in your vibrational frequency that I told you you get into when you are in integrity and unconditional love, it doesn't matter what evil eye they throw at you, because you're going to get the fuck away from them anyway. We don't tolerate a hating ass bitch. No, we do not. Put that in the comments. I don't tolerate haters. Put that in your affirmations. I don't tolerate haters. It's all love on this side. So if it's not unconditionally loving, we're not about it. That's self-sabotage, and we don't play that over here. We are strategic. We are self-sovereign. Okay? So understand that, like, I was working on these things, and before that I'd been like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do what I want to do. You know, what if there are other people who have more experience, they have more followers, you know, they're more famous. It doesn't matter though, because first of all, I am of a very rare spiritual ranking, first and foremost. And that's on period. Nobody can argue that shit with me. Okay, that's on period, first and foremost. Nobody has my special sauce. Nobody has my special potion. And that's true for every single one of us. What makes me unique is what sets me apart. And that's what makes me of value. So when I'm truly living in my authenticity, it doesn't matter what anyone else is bringing to the table. If I don't get something, it's not for me. And I don't need to bemoan that or begrudge that. What's for me is for me. And when I am living in my authentic truth, I find those things. But when I'm living as a phony, I'm not going to find those things. And that's a big part of what is up with this energy. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You need to be your authentic self. Instead of trying to be the gander, be the goose. Because you have a special potion inside of you, your essence that is locked inside of you. It is the key to healing for the collective. You are needed. You are necessary. God don't make trash. Okay, so understand that one right there. And when I finally sat down and I got down all of these like things that I had done specifically in the realm of spirituality, and I put together that post, and I put together and I was putting together like promotional media and marketing stuff. And I sat down and I looked at it and I was like, why am I doubting myself? Like, this is actually crazy. First of all, we're in a time period where every social media marketing guru, quote unquote, I don't like that term, but these social media marketing professionals that get hired to do marketing and to also like, you know, coach people in social media and stuff like this for businesses will tell you it's not about how many followers you have. It's about like, do the followers engage with you? Do they actually bang with you? You know what I mean? Are they actually a part of your community? Because that's what people are looking for these days. Millennials and Gen Z, and I guess also Gen Alpha, are actually looking for community engagement as opposed to numbers. You know who looks for numbers? People who don't understand community. That's why boomers, and often also sometimes Gen X, are looking at numbers and thinking that numbers are what matters. It's not. Numbers are illusory. when it comes to these kinds of things. And that this is important for somebody to hear. This is confirmation because you're doubting yourself, because maybe you don't got the numbers popping like where you want them to be, because maybe you're from a time period where earlier on in social media that was really important and it's not anymore. You can still get brand deals. Even when, I had like, I don't know, roughly 3,000 followers on my original Instagram page, I was still getting brand deals. I was still getting free stuff from major companies. I was still getting booked by major companies. I was still getting flown out across the world by companies. You know what I mean? Like, and I had 3,000 followers. You know why? Because every single one of my followers really fuck with me like that. Every single one of my followers really fuck with me like that because I am who I am and I can't be anybody else. You feel me? I had people that I met back when I was in high school. I was in high school in 2009 to 2000 or 2008 to 2012. Okay. So, and that was a little confirmation buzz that I don't know if y'all heard that, but, and I've always been a very online person. I have people who have been following my social media. Every new page that I got, every new thing that I've done, they have still been with me since then. 13 years, some people have still been with me since then. It's not about the numbers. It's about who's really fucking with you on this journey. That's what people are tapping into these days. So stop worrying about all those superficial things. Because also, if it is a company or a brand that is thinking that way, they're going down. In this Pluto and Aquarius energy, in this reckoning that's going on, they're not going to make it through the other side. So don't worry about them because they're not innovative. They're not forward thinking. You feel me? So do understand that. You don't need to be concerned about that. All right? Oh, wow. I did not even realize that I wrote that on there. Anyway, don't worry about that. And people are going to fuck with you because of your authentic energy. When you're living a double life, when you are pretending to be someone you're not, you have to carry yourself and you have to carry all those fake versions of yourself. You are splitting yourself across timelines. So that is why you will be exhausted. You will be depressed. Because how can you vibrate high when there are a bunch of different versions of you out there living their own full lives and versions of you? Everybody is taking that version of you and they are creating their own version of you. You're 100 different people and you think that you're going to have your 100% power and energy. No, that's why you need to be in your integrity. And when you unconditionally love yourself, when you're in integrity and you unconditionally love yourself, you will be at 100%. And some of you are vibrating on that timeline. Do not relapse into that low vibrational thinking about yourself. 57:47 on the clock. That's 14. Once again, that's 5. Once again. All right. We got 57:57 on the clock. That's 6. Okay, you've been in this energy where you have been stuck not because of punishment, but because you've been healing yourself and you're coming into alignment with what is for you. Don't deny yourself what you deserve. Because at this point, I say it all the time, it's not about deserving, it's about who actually does. Listen, I'll tell you what, I don't feel like someone like 𝗧𝗵𝗿𝗄𝗎 6ix9ine deserved to live a good life. But guess what? He, for a while, he was living his best life, not because he was a good person, but because he did what he had to do to get it. You feel me? Whether or not those things were nefarious and evil, I don't know. I don't know him. I don't know anything about his life at this point. But he had a big song. It was playing on Hot 97 and shit. Even I knew it. So he was living what could have been seen as, to him, his best life. Is he now? I can't tell you. But It's not about who is deserving because they're a good person. It's about who's willing to do what's necessary. And I'm not saying go out and make deals that are and do things that are depraved. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you know, you got to show up for what you want and stop being entitled and thinking that that's how you're going to get it. Oh, I deserve to get it because, you know, this, that, and the third, because I'm cute or whatever. No, it's a lot of people. You don't work for it. You don't do what you got to do for it. You don't show up for it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm going to become, let me think of this example. It's like, you want to be an actor, but you're not even going to auditions. Like, what do you think? And then you're like, I can't believe I'm not an actor. Well, how the fuck are you supposed to be an actor? You're not acting. You're not going to auditions. You're not putting any kind of media out that anyone could see that you are that you're an actor. Nobody knows that you want to be an actor, or if you are even good at acting, because all they know is like, you're just like, yeah, I want to be an actor. The fuck? That's crazy. That's actually insane to think that that is an effective way to go about becoming an actor. So this is for who it matters to. You need to start doing what you got to do and living in your truth, and stop letting all the past bullshit, the haters, the big mouth people talking shit. I never met somebody who was successful and a hater. I don't care how much money they had. I don't care what they did in their career. You're not successful if you're a hater, because you're not fulfilled and you're not experiencing a joyful life. So you're not successful. Clearly, you're not happy. So you haven't succeeded. So if you're hating, that's what I see when I see somebody who's a hater. You feel me? Go with your heart. Your heart is your compass. It's guiding you to what you need to do. One thing that you need to hear right now is you need to listen to your intuition, because you're trying to rationalize fuckery. And you got to understand right now in tropical astrology, the North Node is in Aries and the South Node is in Libra. It's a Libran trait to try and rationalize fuckery for the sake of everything being copacetic and being conflict avoidant. One of the big things that my therapist and I started working through when we first started working together is my conflict avoidance. Okay, so for some of you, you might have an avoidant attachment style. But you also, some of you have a disorganized attachment style. Disorganized avoidant, I think it might be called. But it's the one that is specifically about you have trauma and you struggle with intimacy. You're afraid of intimacy because of the betrayal that happened to you. And I want to tell you 1022. We just got 222 on the clock too, and then we had 1020. So there's mirroring. You're supposed to be coming into union with your divine counterpart, but it's really like you have to really let go of whatever, like that last vestige of what you're holding on to. It's like, so a couple people have been coming up in my field that you know, I loved them very much, but they betrayed me on some really deep levels. I don't mess with them anymore. And they're very resentful of the fact that I don't fuck with them, because they thought that they could do whatever they wanted and that I would still continue fucking with them, because I was the kind of person that I was when I had no self-respect and I was outside of my sovereignty. You know what I mean? That's the kind of person that I was. And that's not the kind of person that I am anymore. This is about being afraid to really show up in your true essential energy so that you can magnetize your highest timeline, because you're afraid of, people being jealous of you and haters and whatnot. They can't do anything to you. They are spiritually bankrupt. Okay, they don't have creative power. So there's nothing that they can really do. They're a weak ass bitch, period. And there's no other way for me to say that, because that's how spirit wants it to be communicated. That is a weak ass bitch. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to sit here and be concerned about a weak ass bitch. Like, that's just not what we're going to do. But they've been coming up in my energy, and they're mad because I don't fuck with them anymore. And they're resentful. And the way that they deal with that is to like act out, right? Instead of being repentant. So some of you gotta like, yeah, instead of being repentant, some of you need to hear this. The people that hurt you, they're not sorry. They're not capable of being sorry because they're not capable of being empathetic. That's just what it is. They are possessed of a spirit of vampirism. They are possessed of a spirit of lack. Defraud is what I'm hearing. They tried to spiritually bankrupt you. They thought that they could drain your resources forever because they saw that you were infinitely abundant, and they are like, they're not going to miss it anyway. So I can do whatever I want to this person. I cannot show up for them, and they're still going to keep pouring into me. Yo, fuck them. I'm not sorry. Fuck them. Stop fucking with them. Whoever is coming to mind as I say this, you know who it is. That's who I'm talking about. That is done. Just like 𝗕𝗁𝗎𝗧 said, see you on the street, your ass is done. She's from PG County. Those of us who are from the DMV, you know, in the DMV, we fight. It's not like there's not going to be any like talking. You feel me? Like, you talk shit, you get hit. You get your shit rocked. So you learn at a certain age, I'm not going to, you know, to watch your mouth. But it's a lot of you out here, you don't know how to watch your mouth. You don't know how to respect yourself. That's what we say in my country, respect yourself. If you're respecting yourself, you're not disrespecting other people. Some people, they can't help but be disrespectful because they don't have any dignity. You know what I mean? They don't have any dignity. They don't have any self-respect. So they can't help but be disrespectful. They have no emotional maturation. They have no control. They're not self-sovereign. Like I said, they're possessed. Anybody, you need to look at people who are of a low vibration and know that 99.9% of the time, almost every single time, that is a possessed person. And demons, like Frank Ocean said, demons try to body jump. So, you know, if you're a person of grace and dignity who is channeling ease into your life, you don't need to be in situations where you're going to have to rock someone's shit, either spiritually, you know, mentally, emotionally, or physically. We don't play those games. Okay? So like I said, in Maryland, like if you are talking shit in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, like you're going to get fought. You might get jumped. So you don't talk out your face sideways. I noticed, you know, I live in New York now. I've lived here for 12 years. I see people on the street, they'll be yelling at each other like they're going to fight, but then they never fight. And it's like, no, like there's not really much of an exchange of words where I come from. Are you going to fight or not? That's what it comes down to. Are you going to throw hands or what? That's what it comes down to. I got all of that out of my energy when I was like in middle school. But I like remember this kid, me, he thought that because I was quiet and withdrawn and because I was depressed, that he was going to come for me. So my cousin was in the same theater class as me. This was in theater class. And he was talking shit and we were getting into it. And I was at that point, I was like, I'm not even dealing with this shit. Like, I'm out. You know what I mean? Because I was experiencing SI at that time. Like, I'm fighting demons, literally, and also the demon that raised me. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have bigger fish to fry than I'm not going to go in on his looks, but I had bigger fish to fry. Let's leave it at that. My cousin followed him out of the classroom, and she got my sister, because my sister, and a bunch of our cousins and people from my Liberian community, we went to the same high school, and they rocked his shit. Like, they whooped his ass. I'm not encouraging violence at all. What I'm saying is, this is how my ancestors go to bat for me. And this is how your ancestors go to bat for you. you don't need to be worried about these people, and you don't need to lower yourself and your vibrational frequency to engage them on the level that they're at, because your ancestors are about to be on demon time with these mofos for real. And your angels, like I keep saying, 𝗵𝗆𝗍𝗠𝗀 on TikTok says, I sure hope, you better hope that the demons find me before the angels do, because angels are of a higher ranking and they're going to do more damage than the demons will. Okay. So your angels and ancestors and guides are really about to rock the shit out of the people who have gone against you. So you don't need to worry about that, because I can feel it. Like some of you, you know, you're ruminating on people who betrayed you, people who did you dirty, people who disrespected you, people, places, things. I'm hearing it's not even just people, it's like individuals, it's like groups of people, yes, but institutions, like institutions, corporations. You feel me? Like, don't worry about it. If you were like wrongfully terminated, don't worry about it, because you know, it could be like your past landlord did some fuck shit to you. They're going to lose that building anyway. They're going to lose their properties anyway. So you don't need to worry about it, because the little thing that you could spend all your energy pursuing for yourself, they already have it in mind to completely destroy everything for that person anyway. They're going to do more damage than you could even believe that you even had. Like you can't even believe what's about to happen to these people. So don't worry about it. Okay, right now you need to be focusing your attention and your energy on like doing things that bring you joy and cultivating that divine frequency of joy. All right. I have to fight me. Because my cousin and my sister beat him up. You know what I mean? Like, so I didn't have to. He literally like followed me down the hallway trying to fight with me. And I was just like, I'm not fighting with you. Like, get out of here. Like, you're embarrassing yourself. You're humiliating yourself. He got his shit rocked that day. But back to the original point that I was making, that's the culture that I grew up in. I grew up in the South. I don't really know what people do in other places. I don't like, that's just also in my country, like people take justice into their own hands. Like there was somebody who stole from somebody else in this district called Red Light District. And they went and they, the people in the town went and they captured the guy. They were like screaming, rogue, 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 because he's a rogue, he stole, you know? And my sister was telling me this story. She saw it. They shoved a lime up inside of him and he died because of the lime being up inside of him, because he was, that's what they did to hold him accountable for stealing. The whole town got together and did this. So your spiritual team, your spiritual nation, all of that, they are riding for you. So this is what it is. You are still, you might be like, I'm not even attached to those people. I don't talk to them. I don't do nothing with them. You are still, it's the emotions. Like I said originally, like if you are out for blood, this is what I'm hearing. I'm out for blood. What are you, a vampire? You don't need to be going out and seeking revenge. That is a low shadow. That's a shadow frequency of, or shadow attribute of Scorpio energy. That's dark side of the moon energy. Okay. We're not doing that. The evolved Scorpio is about personal power, is self-sovereign, and they are strategic. It's about strategic warfare. Athena, as opposed to Aries, who everybody hated. Lucky in war, but not love. Well, if the universe is a frequency of love, then you better stop being battle ready and start getting into love mode. Let the powers that can handle it, because you're going to see years later. I think I talked about this already. No, I talked about this when I was recording mini readings. I worked at this business. They disrespected me. I did what I could do. I did everything that I could do to pursue justice. But in the time frame that I wanted it, I didn't receive it in the way that I wanted it or what it looked like. However, I laid the foundation for the collapse of that company. And what ended up happening later on down the line is the reputation of the founder who disrespected me was ruined. And she was forced to resign in shame. Now she has some other little company, but nobody's fucking with her really like that. Like, you know what I mean? She was on her game before and now she's not. You know what I mean? Because she's been exposed. The company ended up shutting down in disgrace as well. And what ended up happening also is one of the founders came and apologized to me to my face. So I wasn't, at that point in time, I wasn't even focused on that. I wasn't thinking about that. I was not pursuing any kind of revenge about that. It got taken care of. It got handled in a way better. Everything that had to happen happened for a bigger boom, a bigger splash, a bigger downfall, because the bigger they are, the harder they fall. An even bigger downfall happened. Mashallah. Even bigger than I could have orchestrated. So this is the energy that you need to be in. This weekend, I know that the past week, you've been feeling it. You've been feeling these people thinking about you, and you might want to fight them. But you might want to do something to them. You might want to go look at their social media. You might want to go back and look at the messages y'all exchanged. I would say for a lot of you, don't bother. Don't bother. You're thinking about them because they are obsessed with you. They are obsessively thinking about you. And you know why? Because justice has already started being served. Okay? Justice has already started being served. So it's time to let go. If you're like, I hate my life, let go of everything that is making you hate your life. That's a waste of your energy. Okay? How are you going to magnetize good things, your divine counterpart? Because, you know, in cosmic wellness, the divine counterpart is your entire lifestyle, your entire environment, your experience. How are you going to magnetize that when you're not in your divine resonance and frequency? Because you can't be when you are in karmic relationships. Let go of the karmics, okay? You already learned your lesson. There's not much more for you to learn. So, yeah, like I said, talk shit, get hit. Like, it gets handled where I'm from. We don't just fool around. But these people, they never got their shit rocked before. They don't know about you. That's why I say, like, if you have a problem, don't make your problem my problem, because I solve problems. If you don't want your problem solved, stay away from me, because I will solve the problem. I got a lot of Saturn energy. We don't play games over here, okay? I'm a serious ass person. You know what I mean? And that's my Capricorn rising. My Capricorn rising, I'm a serious ass person. I don't play games. And even though Sagittarius sun in tropical astrology, I might be having fun on the surface, people know, they get the sense that deep down, the reality of who Vie Darling is I'm serious, and I am principled, and I am disciplined, and I will discipline you. And this is the energy that you need to be in right now, family, because like I said, we have Saturn at 16 degrees of Pisces. Pisces are the justice degrees. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn and Aquarius. So both Saturn and Uranus both rule Aquarius. This is the energy. Reward to the faithful. Those who did not do what they were supposed to do, those who ignored their calling, they're not getting their fulfillment. They're getting their just desserts. The wheel of fortune is not turning in their favor. The wheel of fortune is turning, and they're about to reap what they sowed. You know what I mean? But we get 𝗧𝗪𝗧, dive into your dreams. This is for the up all night worrying about the coming singularity types, brave explorers of beautiful dreamscapes. You don't need to be worried, because you've done what you're meant to do. For somebody, you need to hear this. I grew up in a very affluent place. A very affluent place. Let's just put it like that. And it is known for Black excellence. I mean, the town, one town over from mine, has its own Real Housewives. And it doesn't matter because everybody, no matter what race you are from, like if you talk shit, you get hit, you get your shit rocked. It gets handled. So it doesn't matter what race you're from, how much money you had. That's what it was like where I grew up. And it was a very affluent place. So somebody needed to hear that. It's not about physically fighting. It's about, because this is covert narcissism. This is covert warfare. This is people who throw a stone and hide their hand. This is people who say shady little things. You feel me? That Libra energy that I was talking about. Conflict avoidant, but still they're like doing shady little things. You feel me? I don't fuck with that energy, which is a big part of why I don't fuck with a lot of Libras. A lot of Libras are actually like really amazing people, but then there are the Libras who are like Kim Kardashian. Okay? I don't fuck with that. It gets handled. And and what you really need to know right now is that it's getting handled. And the reason that they're thinking about you so much is because Spirit is showing them why they shouldn't have done what they did. If you're feeling like you miss that person or you're thinking about the good times with that person, they're thinking about it too. But you know something? I'm hearing Never Give Up on the Good Times by the Spice Girls. You need to give up on those good times, because good in what context? If you only had the capability of going to 10 and it was good because it was a 7 when you were capable of going to 10, okay? But now you're capable of going to 100. You could get 70% before. Yeah, that was pretty decent. All right. But 7 out of 100 is 7%. So it's not good because you have leveled up with that Hanged Man energy. Okay? I'm hearing that Travis Scott song, Houston Fornication. We always forgive, but don't forget easily. Cut my phone off so that they can never reach me. Life is just a maze going through my phases. I might need me some medication. I don't remember. Houston Fornication. Something like that. We always forgive, but don't forget. Like, forgive so that you're not carrying around that burden and it's no longer poisoning your potion, so that you can have a pure potion, so that you are vibrating in the elixir of life frequency, my alchemists. But let it all go otherwise. Let it all go, but you also you can't then allow them to keep poisoning your potion. Period. And they got to deal with that. They got to live with the consequences of their actions. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't give a fuck. I really don't give a fuck. And we get Jet here. This is a stone of protection. Claim your space, okay? This is for empaths, witchy types. You got to claim your space. And it is what it is. You have to be accountable to the things that you do. You dig? You got to. And that's why, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is the way that God really truly loves us unconditionally, because we are always given the opportunity to atone for the things that we have done, and to change and to grow and to evolve and to heal. That's how we know that God loves us, because we can do wrong and we can atone and grow and evolve and heal and change. But you got to know who's actually willing to do that. You feel me? Who's actually willing to do that? And they'll show it in their actions if they're really willing to do it. Show off your sparkle, with aventuring. Like I said, family, like I said that, did I not? You have to just be your best self in every situation. It's a heart-centered, happy-go-lucky vibe, okay? Be your best self. It doesn't matter if you're in the gutter, if you're in the mud, still show up, and shine your light. Shine your brightest. because this is what's going to continue to elevate your frequency. And the people who are actually going to be susceptible enough to do the work to level up their frequency from your light being shown, that's invaluable, and that's you doing the work. Okay, that's you being a light worker. But then there are going to be people who they're just like, well, I don't care. I'm going to stay terrible forever. I don't care. Fuck them. It's like, bro, that's crazy to me. I could never. I don't give a shit about anything that anyone else is doing enough to be like, to think that way, you know? But these are people, they're codependent. They're not concerned. They're not self-sovereign. So when to use rhodonite, when that cubicle life has got you down, when it's time to drop the people-pleasing facade, yo, what did I say? And start doing something that really lights you up. What did I say? When you're ready to use your real unique powers, exactly, to actually make this rapidly spinning planet a beautiful place. Exactly. It's up to you. Yo, 10 of Cups. It's here. It's here. This weekend, it's here. And I don't care if it's not, okay, yes, it's going to show up in a way that you're expecting it to show up. But you have to show up in every single moment of every single day in your highest vibrational frequency. You must. Okay? You must. Because that's what you have to do when you have mastered the feminine principle of manifestation. It is to know that it is about the energy that you show up in the world in, because that is what aligns the world around you, the matrix, the universe, the quantum physical universe to you. That's how you attract what is for you, by being you. And so we've been in this time where we've been healing the divine feminine, and a light has been being shown on how we were blocked. And this is how you do it, family. Okay, there are people in my life, folks know I'm no contact with my family of origin and my community of origin. I pretty much do not interact with anyone from my childhood, from before the age of 17. I pretty much do not interact with any of those people because we are very much, because it's karmic. Let's just leave it at that, right? But I did give some people stipulations. If they were willing to do what it took to get well, I would be willing to renegotiate the terms of our relationship and perhaps engage with them again. But I'm not fucking with you as long as you're sick like that, because I can't jeopardize my life. I can't jeopardize my energy. I can't jeopardize my future, because I want to have my own family. I want to have my own career. I want to have my own household, my own life. And it needs to be good. I've gone through enough suffering. So if you're bringing suffering, if you're bringing disrespect, if you're bringing contention and conflict, good luck to you. Good luck to you. I don't know what to tell you. I can't fuck with you, but I true unconditionally loving. I hope that things get better for you. And I hope that you heal. And I hope you get everything that you need, because you're hurting. I can see that. And I'm sorry. I didn't hurt you. I'm not the one who did anything, so I'm not going to be accountable to that. But I hope that you figure it out someday. You feel me? That's where it's at for me. That's how I look at it. And I truly feel that way. It's really just about people got to let go. And if they don't let go, do a cord cutting, do a cord pulling rather. I encourage people to pull cords, not cut cords. You know what I mean? Pray, pray for them, for they know not what they do. But some of them do know what they're doing, actually. They know exactly what they're doing, and they do it anyway. The point that I was making is, these people who were thinking of me, they're mad because I stopped allowing them to mistreat me. And they're resentful and angry. And so even though they miss me, apparently, they're still wishing bad upon me because they're crazy and sick. All right. 5 of Wands, 2 of Wands. Exactly. They want to come together with my energy just so that they can use it. They don't actually love or care about or respect me. They don't see me as a human. They see me as an object. And I'm saying this and I'm talking to you too. Conflict. If they come back into your life right now, they'll do the same thing. They're not sorry. They're sorrowful. You know why they're sorrowful? Because they're sorrowful. They're full of sorrows. They can't get the fuck over what happened. They don't want to heal. They want to stay in the victim mindset for the rest of their life. You cannot be a victim and a self-sovereign being as well. I'm not saying that people can't victimize you when you're self-sovereign. When you're in your sovereignty. They can and they will try. But you do not identify holistically and characteristically as a victim when you're in your sovereignty. Because also, you make better choices. You're more discerning. When people are fucking around, you don't let that energy up in your life. You see it and you go the other way. You see and you say, bless up, good luck, take care. Okay? Don't let this energy back into your life, because I do feel like somebody's, like some of you, they're not actually gonna make the offer because your energy is already in a place where it's like, you just gotta do not open up your heart to this person or these people or these places, these institutions, what have you. We get the world. You are free. You are about to receive the world. You are entering moksha. Do you want this energy or do you want this energy? And 5 and 2 make 7. They are at war with themselves and they want to bring that to you. And then you'll be at war with yourself and everyone and everything around you. That time is over. I swear to you, family, it's over. This portal that we're in, by the end of this portal, it's going to be a done deal. So don't let these people in. Don't let them. They don't see you as a human being. They see you as collateral. And that's fucked up. If it's a job, quit. Like, you should have already been quit. It might be that they try and beg you to come back. If they have to beg you to come back, that just tells you how bad it was. Don't fumble your bag by being afraid of the future. All right, you know better. You are a divinely blessed, abundant person. Okay? With the Hierophant in reverse and the 10 of Swords. Don't have to learn this lesson over again. All right, it's time for you to come out of hermit mode. It's time for you to come out of hiding. It's time for you to come into the world. It's no more stress is what I'm feeling here. It's no more stress. It's no more running. It's no more hiding. You're about to finally put it all into practice. Everything that the devil was keeping you from. This is the split between the old earth and the new earth. Everything that the devil was keeping you from. You are leaving that old earth that is ruled by Shaitan. Okay, it is about perseverance. It is about you trusting and believing that this is where you're at, that you are merely in the process of this stuff manifesting for you. It doesn't go from 1 to 10 like immediately. It's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has to load, and it's loading. Focus on the blessings. Focus on the positives. Okay? Because all that's back there for you is more heartbreak and conflict and consternation. Is going to be the same lesson over again. Let that past heartbreak, that past betrayal, we talked about betrayal a lot. Let that past betrayal, that was supposed to be the trauma that starts you on the shaman's journey. Let it be. Let it be so. That's what Liberian people say. Let it be so. Let that one be the one. Don't let it come back again. All right. When I used to want to fight people and I would be crying and I'd be mad and I wanted to like literally fist fight somebody. Like that's who I used to be. I was a kid. You know what I mean? I was an angry kid who like had I come from a very fiery family and they're very aggressive and boisterous and hot-blooded. Fire, fire, fire in the family that I was raised in. But like I said, that's how we were where I grew up. You know what I mean? It's people living in big ass mansions and still doing that kind of stuff, going to private schools, still doing that kind of stuff because it's a matter of respect. Okay. That's just what it was like. Don't ask me. I don't fight anymore because when you pay almost $200 for your nails to get done, you're not somebody who's going to go around throwing blows. But also, I'm a sober person of grace and dignity. I don't get into physical altercations or verbal altercations. I don't grace such low vibrational energy with my energy. Okay. I don't deign to lower myself like that. But the point is, my mom, when I would be like crying because I was so angry and I wanted to fight, and she would just be, let it be so, let it be so. You know what I mean? Like that happened already. Let it be so. Let that be the thing that happened. Now it's the end. You get to be the person who puts it to an end. You get to be the person who puts that that experience, that paradigm, that way of life to rest. Let that be the end of it. She also say that. Okay, so like, you know, for some of you, yeah, it's really like you might be in no contact with your mother, and they are really feeling, they really are sad and they miss you. For some of you, something big is happening with like something big, a celebration, and they're heartbroken, they're sad, they're distraught, they're distressed because they know that they cannot connect with you, and they're sad because they're going to miss you at this event and they want you to be there, but you're not going to be there. And they know that you're not, they know that no matter what they do, there's no way that you will ever be there, that you're coming to that thing. They see now that you are serious, that you mean business. They really see and understand that. And they are like, some of them are sorry. Some of these people are sorry, but like, they know that they can never touch you. You know what I mean? But then others of them, they're like, they don't know how to deal with their hurt and their anguish, and so they're like, their response to it is to get mad at you for having boundaries and like growing and evolving and being healthy. You know what I mean? That's some of them. And this can be in a lot, these people may not even know each other because this is an overall energy. Okay. So if you're picking up a lot of that energy, I'm telling you right now, don't go looking at their social media. Don't go looking at y'all's previous messages. Don't go watching tarot videos about them. This is what it is. They are thinking about you. Just let it be so. Let it be. You know what I mean? That's how you show the universe. This is the practical enaction of what I'm saying. As you are being carried through this portal into that other life, just let it go. Just let the energy pass right through you. Do not get caught up in it. Do not latch on to it. Do not hold on to it. Okay? They already broke your heart enough times. They already stole from you. They already hurt you. And the people, that is what brought you into a place where now you're aligned with people who are going to love you for you. This is a weekend where you need to be, this is a time where you need to be resting. Because, yeah, like I split the deck and look what I got. Stealing intellectual property. They may have tried to steal your identity, maybe even in like a literal sense. But definitely, I feel like swagger jackers is what I'm hearing. They tried to like steal your sauce. They tried to be you. They might have tried to steal your destiny. They may have tried to bind themselves to you. They might have tried to, yeah, they might try everything that you do. They try and do that too. Like, it's like you do it and then they try and do it. And I'm sensing some weak ass bitch. They have more access to resources than you. And they you start doing something, but you do it to the ability that you can because you don't have the same access to resources. And then they copy you. And then like they have more resources and they're like, oh my God, see, I'm better than them. And it's like, no, actually, like there's, and I got this download last night too. They know that there's no way in hell that if y'all had an equal playing, like if y'all were on an equal playing field, they absolutely in no uncertain terms would be able to see you eye to eye. You would be light years ahead of them if they had the same access and ease, if you had the same access and ease as they do. Okay? They know that. But that's why they're jealous of you, and that's why they hate on you. And that's why they prey on your downfall. Because they know that the only reason that you're not already, that you didn't in the material, that you were not already miles ahead of them in the material is because they, because of the density that was upon you, that was weighing you down. And now that the density has been removed, you're skyrocketing. And the devil wants to use them to hold you back. But let it go. This is what I'm saying. Like, just let it go. They're done. It's a done deal. It's a wrap. Let it go. We get the 7 of Wands in reverse. You have some really blessed, peaceful, copacetic, harmonious, divinely harmonious energy coming to you. All of the work that you did, because the moon is entering Sagittarius today, all of the work that you did, like I'm hearing defying gravity from Wicked. I'm flying high, defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye, I'm defying gravity. And you can't pull me down. Can't I make you understand? You're having delusions of grandeur. I'm through accepting limits. My throat is so dry. I apologize, family, but it is whatever. It is what it is. Voice breaking, voice cracking. I do feel like that is a message that like they like any kind of magics or suppression that was on your throat chakra, which was on your voice, which was on your agency and your autonomy, that is being removed. That is being broken. The chains are being broken from upon you. You need to be drinking a lot of water. You need to be getting a lot of electrolytes, eating melon, eating fruit. You might be craving a lot of fruit at this time. I want to encourage you to eat home-cooked meals. A lot of vegetables, a lot of like, I'm seeing Southern comfort food. I made biscuits and gravy. Like, well, the gravy needs more gravy, but I made biscuits and gravy essentially. Because biscuits and gravy are one of my comfort foods. It's like one of my feel-good foods. I fucking love biscuits and gravy. And there's a purging of mucus. There's a purging of mucus, phlegm, which I believe in traditional Chinese medicine, that is one of the 4 humors, and I think it's related to fire or air. So either way, this is a purging of old ideas, old ways of being. This is that were self-limiting beliefs. That's what it is. It's a purging of self-limiting beliefs. I'm through accepting limits because someone says it's so. Some things I cannot change, but till I try, I'll never know. Too long I've been afraid of losing love. I guess I'm lost, or I guess it's lost. Because if that's love, it comes at much too high a cost. That's everything that I have been saying throughout this reading. It's time to try defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye. I'm defying gravity, and you can't pull me down. Okay, Galinda tries to tell 𝗪𝗪𝗲. 𝗪𝗪𝗲 uncovers a conspiracy. She uncovers the conspiracy that the wizard has been perpetuating for all this time. She discovers like corruption going on. And oh my God, with Jet, it says, who needs it? Empaths and 𝗰𝘁 types. Claim your space. Like then Galinda's like, just keep your head down. Like, don't bother trying to stand up for justice. Like, why do you have to be so different? And this is the thing about Galinda. Every time she's like, oh, I'm going to make you popular just like me. She wants to change 𝗪𝗪𝗲 to be just like her, which is a weakling and a coward. You're popular, Galinda. This is like Isis energy. This is Eve energy. not Eve energy. There's something about that story that I have to unpack that is like downloading, but I can't, I'm digressing, but this is like the false light. Okay. This is the false light versus that's the like false feminine, toxic feminine versus the darkness, Kali Ma. Okay. Which is the true feminine, the true creative force, because dark light comes from the darkness, right? So Elphaba's constantly telling her, I'm going to make you popular like me. Elphaba, I mean, yeah, Galinda is always telling Elphaba that. Galinda is a poser. She is just like, she's a people pleaser. She's likable. She's palatable. And she is a coward. She does not have integrity. And that's why she's popular. Okay? She does not stand up for something that is right. And she tries to make Elphaba into a version of herself. She's like, I'm going to change your hair. I'm going to change the way that you dress. Maybe even you shouldn't have green skin. Like, she literally tries to change everything about Elphaba. And this is very similar to the way that Enid treats Wednesday on Netflix. Okay. And, yeah, Elphaba is just like, no, like, I don't care about being famous. I don't care about any of that stuff. This is wrong. And if I have to be the only one who stands alone to stand up to injustice, then I will stand alone. And at least I will be free. At least I will be sovereign. But I will not let this stand. And we all know what ends up happening to Elphaba. And, you know, in this version of that story, like, Elphaba's sister, who actually was disabled, is killed. They drop a house on her sister, and she goes for revenge, and that's what ends up bringing us to the story of the Wizard of Oz. And then at the end, it turns out that the wizard was the bad guy, actually. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. I'm not going to get too much deeper because I think that we've done enough, but there's a lot. The man behind the curtain is being revealed. The corruption behind the curtain is being revealed. Justice is coming to fruition. You know, these people who hurt you, they are being revealed in front of people they care about their opinion. Okay? If it's like, it's not like, oh, people who they don't give a shit about are finding out what they did. People they care about are the people at their job, the people at their church or their house of worship, people in their community, the elders of the community, you know, their partner, you know, their family is finding out the extent of what they did, because they did some fucked up shit. Some of them did death magic. Okay, it's being revealed now. The curtain is falling back, family, and we're seeing who's on the right side of everything. Okay, Two of Cups. Two of Cups is very alchemical. Yeah, we're coming into divine union. We're coming into 𝗺𝗺𝗎𝗧 marriage. It's been happening. That's why we've been so tired. It's been happening, and now it's just like, I can't even get the words out. You feel me? I can't even get the words out, but that's what I have for you. Let me just read through the insights for the 26th, just in case. Yeah, justice, exactly. Like I said, you may recall that Pisces is the sign of harmony, and I often refer to certain degrees as the justice degrees, because in order to restore harmony, there must be justice. The scales must be reset. Like in that, the prophecy that I gave a few days ago, I was talking about Ma'a's feather on the scales of justice. And didn't I bring up Athena? And I'm thinking about Themis as well. I do feel that while Neptune and Saturn, transpersonal planets that impact collectives and generations, are lingering here, this will be the overall tone, especially because Neptune is at final degrees of Pisces and will be there for up until 2025, okay? Justice is being restored. Wrongs are being righted. There is vindication coming. So don't worry about it. You worry about having a good time, not a long time, okay? Because this period is coming to an end. So just do your best to enjoy whatever you're experiencing, right? Do your best to alchemize the situation, you know, have fun with what you have. You know, when you're a kid and if kids who don't have a lot of money have to be very creative. You know what I mean? So you might be really good at imagination games. Right now is an imagination game. Do the best that you have do the best with what you have to create joy and to maintain the frequency and a vibration of joy in your life. Even if we don't understand those implications or see the consequences, we can believe in that. And a lot of that is starting now with Mars being in the sign of Pisces, kickstarting all of this, okay? Somebody is getting famous, notorious for some, those who are being like exposed, while others are finally getting the appropriate recognition they deserve for their hard work. This screams justice. And the energy is moving very, very fast. So some people might experience spiritual psychosis, manic episodes, spiritual exhaustion, and being extremely tired. I encourage you to really just get a lot of rest. A lot of rest. And I have here fresh foods, herbal remedies, manuka honey, because a lot of you are going to be feeling sick. It is because of the physiological biomolecular changes that you are experiencing. So I would really recommend to you get on that turmeric, get on that honey, the manuka honey, get on that ginger, oil of oregano, because a lot of this has to do with throat chakra healing. Okay, you might want to fast, dry fast for some of you, but I don't think so. Honestly, I feel like it's really just about eating electric foods. Grounding practices, gratitude, 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 and just take it easy for this weekend. Don't sit around feeling sorry for yourself. Take action, baby steps. You still move with baby steps, babes. I wouldn't recommend junk food, even if it's comforting. Other comfort foods, I do recommend bone broths and traditional Chinese medicine. Do not overdo it with the caffeine, okay? Because it's only going to make you more anxious. Right now is the time for you to be meditating, because there are a lot of downloads that are coming through, and you need to be tuned into your divine guidance in order to get to where you need to go. So that is all that I have for you, my loves. I love you all truly and deeply. And I want to encourage you, if you are interested in booking a reading with me, booking a healing with me, you know where to find me. The link is going to be down below. And yeah, I'll see you on the flip side. Happy hunting.